2026 is almost over and the number of content creators just keeps growing. People who edit video, even more of them. But editors who are actually good, still hard to find. So if you are sitting there right now thinking about learning video editing, here is my honest take. I've been making content for 10 years, for myself and for my clients, week after week. 1 month is enough to learn the fundamentals. I broke the whole process down into 4 weeks. My name is Victor, let's get started. It's no secret there are tons of editing programs out there, and ideally you would install every single one and spend time testing them. But since we have only 1 month, I did that part for you, and this seems to be the best option today. While other companies ask you for a subscription or the $100 up front just to try their software, DaVinci Resolve is simply free. Yeah, of course, there is a paid version, but let's look at this honestly. To try things out, to edit your first video for YouTube or Instagram, we don't need any of those expensive programs, and the features, they are locked behind the paid version. At this stage, we simply don't need them at all. The program gets updated often. For example, going from version 20.1 to 20.2 maybe, they added automatic silence-based cutting. So now, to cut a talking head, like me right now, talking, making pauses, you don't even have to do it manually. The program does it for you, almost fully automatically. But even that is not the main thing. The main thing is stability. In all my years, DaVinci has crashed only in some truly extreme cases.
But CapCut exists, right?
On one hand, it's cool. You can edit video just with your thumb on the road, in the car, at the beach, but effects that take a few clicks on computer take forever to build with your finger. Let's be honest, CapCut has a ceiling. So if you don't want to be limited, if you want to learn properly from day one, I still recommend editing on a PC or Mac. And if it's a computer, well, you already understood. DaVinci Resolve. And yes, I know exactly what's stopping you. You open DaVinci and next to CapCut, it looks like a spaceship cockpit. I get it, honestly. Until at some point, I took everything I use every single day and turned it into my own preset bundle. It's called Reels Builder. Over 100 drag and drop effects, transitions, animated titles, sound effects, backgrounds, and so on. You just drop them on your timeline the same way you would tap a template in CapCut. So if you wanted to speed up your editing, the link in the description. And with that, the excuses are gone. So first task for this week, my friend, learn the program visually. Where is the viewer? Where is the timeline? Where are the effects? And where is the media pool? The place where all your footage lives. And please, remember one very important rule. Always save your work. I mean assets, presets, and so on. And after all of that, we can move to the next step. We need to learn how to cut on a basic level, but not just cut video. Do it, let's say, beautifully. Editing a choppy, jumpy video is easy. Our goal is to make quality work. Step number 1, forget about your mouse. Your hands should be on the keyboard 90% of the time, which means we need to learn hotkeys. Yeah, it's hard, it's boring, but it's necessary. Let me walk you through the basics. There are 3 keys: J, K, and L. J plays your video backwards, L plays it forward, and key is play and pause. And here is a powerful trick. If you don't want to see through some long clips, press L twice, and your video plays at double speed. Press it again, 4 times faster, again 8 times faster, and so on. Moreover, to avoid dragging huge clips onto your timeline and cluttering it, and keeping it clean really matters. There are 2 keys, I and O. You open a clip, you put your playhead at the moment where the clip should start and press I. Then you move it to the end point and press O. And now, when you drag that clip from the media pool onto the timeline, you bring over only the piece you actually need. And the most important tool of all is the so-called ripple delete cut. How does it work? The program understands where your previous or your next cut is. You press one hotkey and the whole timeline slides over, closing the gap to the previous or to the next cut. And now you can really start cutting. The goal is to reach the state where you cut video without even watching it back. Pure muscle memory. And so your cuts don't look boring. There are many cutting techniques. The main ones are the L cut and the J cut. A lot of people have explained them, but here is how they look in a practice. I was silent just now, and at some point there it was, the cut. Like right now, for example. Obviously you don't need to join every clip this way, but in certain moments you can slightly stretch your main clip and the cut becomes smoother, always invisible. On top of that, we have crops. They add dynamics, they create a fake second camera angle, and to make your video feel maximally smooth, here is what I suggest. Set up a horizontal line at the level of your eyes, and whenever you crop, zoom or scale your image to add that dynamic feel, keep the eye level locked in place. The video instantly becomes much easier and nicer to watch. And the main tool, one that many programs simply don't have, but DaVinci does, is called text-based editing. You press this button and the program transcribes your timeline. Your video turns into text. And yeah, you understood correctly. You can select a sentence, delete it, and it gets deleted right on the timeline. Remove the repeated takes and then polish everything afterwards. Trim a pause here, add a punch in there, and so on. Learning these tools will take you no more than a day. After that, we drill them until they become automatic. And once we've learned to slice the raw footage like a pro, we can start layering things on top. B-roll. There are the segments where we show what the author is talking about. But where do you get it? There are actually plenty of websites, both paid and free. Here are the main ones. Okay, week 3 begins, and here I would pay special attention to sound. We are editing videos. What sound? Who cares, right? Well, here is the thing. Video is an audiovisual medium, and audio comes first. People can tolerate a mediocre picture, but bad audio, nobody will tolerate that. And I want to focus on one specific thing here. So many beginners completely ignore sound design. Look, text just appeared on screen. Nice animation. It looks visually pleasing, but something is missing. If something animates and appears on screen, it should always be supported by 3 letters. SFX, sound effects. And I'm not talking about reverb or echo, I'm talking about the actual sounds, the pushes, the pops, the clicks. Where do you get them? Stock websites. There are lots of them. What really matters is that the author's voice stays front and center, while the music and sound effects supported somewhere in the background. The best effects are the ones we don't notice, but there is one slightly more advanced tool I would recommend learning, and it's called audio ducking. The program listens to your audio track and understands where the author is speaking and when they are silent. See, I just went quiet for a moment. The music starts pulling the attention to itself, and that's the whole trick. Now, week 4. The biggest one, because you can stretch it out forever. This is the week for studying everything else. In this final week, I would learn titles, meaning text and graphics, then transitions and basic color correction. And do not open Fusion in week 4. The tool looks quite complex at first glance, but it's actually fairly simple. I recommend you click around and figure out what shading is, how to turn on a drop shadow on your text without stacking an extra effect on top. It's really important to try with your own hands. All the standard transitions and all the standard effects, there aren't that many of them, honestly, but it's so much better when, while editing, you already understand, okay, I need to blur the background, I drop this effect, I need to image to have a soft shine, I need glow, I need the camera shake, that's camera shake, of course. You can study effects name forever, but until you touch them with your own hands, your brain most likely won't remember any of it. And after all of that, color correction. And this, let's say, is an endless field. I do not recommend diving deep into log footage, color spaces, color profiles, and all of that. Please, no. Instead, try applying a 3D log, color preset, so the picture simply looks pleasant and easy on the eyes. Play with lift, gain, contrast, color balance, just to understand how these tools visually change the image. And you'll catch up to professional level color grading later along the way. So yeah, guys, The video editing is not really about the software or the technical skills. It's about creating a video that people watch from the first second to the last. And only the specialists who truly understand this can grow up toward an infinitely high paycheck. Cutting and joining clips, almost anyone can do that today. But making a video that is genuinely pleasant to watch, that's where most people stumble at the start. And if you want a head start on the visual side, remember, Reels Builder is right in the description. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.